Wright drifted from job to job before working as a steward on the QE2 for 6 years. In 1988, Wright set himself up as a pub landlord, but with little success. With 2 failed marriages and a mounting gambling debt, Wright found work as a barman at the Brook Hotel. After he was caught stealing £80 from the till, his DNA was entered into the national database. A few weeks before Tanya Nicol went missing, Wright was to move into 79 London Road, at the heart of Ipswich's red light district.
What's intriguing about serial killers is not the fact that they are the epitome of evil, but rather they're the banality of evil. It's their ordinariness that sticks out. And when I first got to know more about the background of Steve Wright, what struck me was, again, that sense of the everyday nature of who serial killers are.
Wright is questioned by the Suffolk police.
Come on, Steve. You're telling me you've never even been tempted to go with a prostitute?
No comment.
When he was arrested, he said no comment during the first 8 hours of interviews.
You need to speak to us, Steve. You need to tell us what was going through your mind at the time.
No comment.
He's not going to engage with you. He's not going to engage with me and help resolve the puzzle of why he committed the crimes.
We've got the last girl to go missing with your DNA, and the one before with your DNA, both on their naked bodies. Now, how can that be?
No comment.
Even without a confession, the DNA recovered from the bodies is proof enough for Stuart Gull to announce that Wright has been charged with the murder of all 5 women, and Tom Stevens is to be released. Wright's trial is set for January 2008. The pressure is now on the forensic teams to find conclusive evidence linking Wright to the 5 murdered women. The police impound Wright's car.
As part of our forensic strategy, we identified Steve Wright's car as a key exhibit that needed to be examined in fine detail, not just for fibre evidence, but evidence of any other transfers.
But there's a potential problem. Neighbours report seeing Wright obsessively cleaning his car at all times of the day and night. Undeterred by Wright's efforts, the forensic team set about the painstaking task of lifting fibres from the car, in the hope they'll be able to match them with fibres found on the bodies. Their efforts finally pay off.
The first significant finding that we came up with related to the tapings that had been taken from Annette Nichols. What we found on these tapings was a fake fur fibre. When we came to look at Steve Wright's vehicle, we found 2 of these fibres inside the footwell, which matched the fake fur fibre from Annette's tapings exactly.
The fibre analysis team then makes another critical discovery.
What we found on tapings from the rear seat were a number of very, very tiny flakes of blood. Completely unexpected finding, but nevertheless highly significant.
By recombining the individual flakes of blood into a single droplet, enough DNA is recovered to allow a match. The blood belongs to Paula Clennell. and when Wright's fluorescent jacket is subjected to microscopic examination, more of Paula's blood, as well as that of Annette Nichols, is found.
Added a totally new complexion to the forensic evidence against Steve Wright, because whereby we'd earlier had evidence that could be explained away by general contact with these people, innocent contact as perhaps a customer, the transfer of blood was something that potentially was far more sinister.
With Wright's make of car now known, the CCTV footage is re-examined. His Mondeo is spotted leaving Ipswich the night Gemma Adams failed to meet her boyfriend. The model also matches the car Tanya Nichol was seen climbing into. The police now have compelling evidence linking Wright to Annalie Alderton, Paula Clennell and Annette Nichols. But a positive link to Tanya Nichol and Gemma Adams, who were found in running water, still remains elusive. Without that link, the entire case against Wright could be in jeopardy. "48-year-old Steve Wright has been arrested on suspicion of murdering 5 women. Forensic evidence has linked Wright to Annalie Alderton, Paula Clennell and Annette Nichols, the 3 victims found on land. But recovering clues from the first 2 bodies has so far proved impossible.
It was vital that we actually linked Steve Wright to the murders of Tanya Nichol and Gemma Adams. We knew that there would be very little chance of getting any DNA transfers to the bodies because they'd been deposited in water, but fibres could be trapped in their hair. And that was the target area that we decided was going to give us the best potential forensic evidence.
To try and establish a link between Wright and the first 2 murders, the forensic team set about collecting everything caught in Tanya and Gemma's hair. They extract over 2 kilograms of debris. Sifting through the material, the team then spend weeks microscopically examining every tiny particle. Against all the odds, they find what they're looking for: coloured fibres trapped deep in Gemma's hair.
In particular, we found blue polyester microfibres which matched Steve Wright's tracksuit bottoms. We found red acrylic fibre which were present in Steve Wright's car and on his sofa in his living room.
But it's to be a single fibre extracted from Tanya's hair that will provide the final link in the forensic chain.
Well, in the case of this fibre here, we recovered this from the hair debris of Tanya Nichol, which is a black nylon fibre with a very distinctive cross-section. And this type of fibre is very commonly used in the construction of carpets.
But where did the black fibre come from? Once again, Wright's Mondeo provides the answer. The fibre matches those in the car's carpet.
That was crucial to us because it put Tanya to his car, but it begs the question, how on earth has carpet fibres got in her hair? There was only one conclusion that we could come to, and that is her head had been in forcible contact with the footwells of that car. That could either have been during the strangulation process or as the body was actually transported to the point of deposition.
The forensic team now have good evidence linking Wright to all 5 victims. On the 14th of January 2008, the trial of Steve Wright begins.
We were under intense pressure and scrutiny. We felt the weight of expectation. But of course, until the evidence is delivered before the jury, you really don't know
which way the case is going to go.